All right. Well, it's just 1 past 8 for me, or a minute past the hour. Let's kickstart this because I think a lot of us are excited to hear more about the story, the inspiration behind things, and just get to know our artist. Um, that's it. I'll hand it over to you, and I'll just mute myself and hang out.
Okay, cool. So first off, I just want to thank everyone for being here. It's always nice to have a koala gathering like this. Um, I'd like to start by telling you about a bit about me and my background. So I'm Daxi, I'm from South Africa, and I'm a digital artist. I haven't been doing that for the past 8 years, but I was in the photography business doing color grading and stuff like that. But then I decided to just quit that and pursue my art. So as you can imagine, I was really out of practice, but I got into the NFT space and J3, our famous director, he found me and he put me on K.I.A. And he already had the whole roadmap. Everything was really organized. And I was like, I'm all for this. And yeah, I started drawing the koalas and all the traits. And it was actually quite challenging for me because a lot of the traits I've never ever drawn in my life. For example, like the rifle and stuff, some of the more complicated stuff. So I had to do a lot of research and kind of get back into drawing. But it was all worth it in the end, I believe, because of the tremendous success that it's had so far. And just getting to know the community, of course, it's been an amazing journey. It's obviously been the first time that I've had to go through this entire process and also get like behind the scenes information and see how a project like this can start up from scratch and get to where it is now. And I can promise you we're still at the beginning and we're just taking off, guys. And we have a long way to go and we have a lot of goals ahead of us. Um, so yeah, it's just the beginning. And I'm excited to continue working on this project. If you do have any more questions for me, you can go ahead and ask. But yeah, that's my introduction.
I'm gonna cut the line and get right to it. I have a couple of questions. The first one is, what was your favorite trait that you drew? And what is one trait that we don't have that you would love to have at some point?
Okay, so I think some of my favorite traits were actually the the more feminine ones, like the ball gowns, for example, because that had a huge Disney influence for me, which is like one of the biggest influences in my life and also to my drawings. So yeah, definitely the feminine traits. Um, and then something that I want to see that I haven't yet, definitely some anime sort of stuff, like something from Naruto, for example. Yeah, I'd love to do something like that because I'm super into anime.
That's cool. Just wondering if anyone wants to ask any questions, just raise your hand and we'll bring some people up, or post in the chat and we'll happy to answer those.
I actually love to hear from people as well and hear like what their favorite traits are or furs, because that would also be interesting to me.
If I may, the robots are just super cool. I'm gonna refrain from using any profanity here, but if I could, I'd use some very descriptive ways of saying how much I like the Robo Koalas. But I do have a question. So I am part of a collective of people who are helping artists connect with projects like this. What would you say to someone who is ultra talented, just getting started in the space? How do you keep an eye out for who you want to be associated with as an artist? And how did you do your due diligence?
Okay, so do you want to hear from my perspective of that, right?
Yes, please. That'd be
Like for
fantastic.
other
Like,
artists.
yeah. So like, I suppose you're here and you're with the K.I.A. and everything, but if you weren't, and if you were giving yourself advice before you got involved in a big project like this, what would you say?
Okay, so the way that I got into K.I.A. was complete luck. It was just me shilling, basically. So that's something that I would always tell upcoming artists, like keep shilling and don't give up. And you actually have to just take the risk. If a project like this approaches you, you have to take the risk and you have to do some research on them if there is any, because I know a lot of people are starting projects from scratch, so there isn't like any background or anything. But and obviously a lot of them are not going to do well, but it's a risk that you're going to have to take, and it's completely your decision whether you want to get into that or not.
I'll add from my perspective, not an artist perspective, but I originally came in here as a collector and then just a creator with my background helping people. Honestly, like artists have just been really the people that I've connected. They've just had genuine conversations with me. Just inquire, talk to people, join discords, and then you get to know everyone. And what you'll start seeing is that you start seeing the same people in the same discords over and over again. And then that's when you start realizing who's really in the space for the long term. And you start getting to know them, or people know someone that knows someone. And that's how you form these relationships online. Thanks.
Dude, that's excellent.
All right. I know.
Keeping it simple.
Danny, do you have a question?
Yes, hi guys. Completely unrelated, probably dumb question regarding the crates. So I saw in our Discord that someone posted the snapshot of the most active people, and I was among one of them. So my question is like, when is the crates drop gonna happen? That first thing, and the second thing is like, if I'm in that list of the most active people, and then I also have like more than 6 koalas, so I'm sure I qualify for the most, like one of the big holders. Like, do I get 2 crates, or is it like one per person? Like, how does it work, guys?
Yeah, I can answer that, although I think Yoda was raising his hand up, so I don't know if he wants to jump in. Yeah, so right now we have a snapshot. We're doing a bit of manual work just to assign a role to then get your wallets, and we're gonna get all those wallets and do the airdrop. So if you're in that original snapshot, you're good. In terms of being eligible for 2, the team has decided that because we're only limiting a total of 1,000 crates for this first drop, you're only eligible for 1. So if it's part of the original 250, you'll get those. And if not, you would be included for the other one.
Okay, thanks a lot for the answer.
Yeah, no problem. I know Triton's been around trying to connect, but I think we lost him. If you're still there, just raise your hand and we'll get you up here. Anyone else have any questions for our artist? I have a few more, but I don't want to just keep asking in case other people want to know a few other things.
Yeah, I'll jump in here. I've got a question for you, Taxi, Uncle Yoda here. I just want to hear a little bit more about your influence and what because you weren't in the art scene originally, as a profession. What was your influence into creating these characters and also some of your personal art? How do you keep that going? Um, and where does your, basically just where is your influence, where does it come from?
Great question, Uncle Yoda. So I've been drawing all my life and I'm self-taught. A lot of my art style comes from anime and Disney and everything I watched growing up. And even when I was at a photography company, like during every lunch, I would draw. And I think like, it's just like all that practice that I had that gave me the art style that I have today. So when I got back into it, I just basically I already had that art style, you know what I mean? So so I guess that is the influence that I had.
And just to add to that, then, because that's really cool. But then, what are there any like specific artists or characters that we might know that have helped you to develop as an artist?
Wow, what a question. So not like specific movies, but not specific characters, but definitely like all of the Disney princess movies. I was like totally into that. And then anime like Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, Digimon, all the early stuff. That is like what really influenced me to get into art. I basically studied that. That was like art college for me.
Perfect. That answers it. Thanks.
Thanks, Ank.
Uh, I have a question,
Yes,
Taxi.
Momo, go ahead.
uh, what sparked your passion initially for art to become an artist? Did you watch something and was like, that's what I want to do? I want to do art. I want to create this. I want to make stories. I want to, make
Hmm.
cartoons, movies, animations. Like, what sparked your passion initially and your love for art initially?
So basically, I was born and I was born with a pen in my
Let's
hand.
get out of here.
Obviously.
No, seriously, like my parents would tell me stories about how I was like 3 years old and I would just draw on the walls in the entire house and they would constantly have to paint over it. And even like when they wanted me to take my medicine, they would bribe me with like a book and a pen. So it's literally been a part of me my entire life. And it's incredible to me that I can do it today. And it's actually my career because a lot of people cannot say that their passion is their career. So I feel extremely
Mm,
humbled and extremely grateful to be here.
that's awesome. Oh, I also have another question. What is your favorite part of the process of creating art? Is it the actual like brainstorming? Is it the actual drawing? Is it the giving it to people part? Like, which is your favorite out of the process?
Very good question. So it's actually creating the character and giving it personality, giving it emotion. Because
Mm,
I pour like my own emotions into my art. And even if I should draw, for example, like an angry expression, like you'll see that on my face. So so I really like get attached to a lot of these characters and seeing people love the koalas so much and saying like they are their koalas. It really like it means a lot to me because that's also the way that I feel about them. And I feel like we all share that feeling now.
mm, that makes a lot of sense. Um, Okay, I think I have one more question. So we know that the NFT space is majority dominated by men. So do you have anything to say to the female artists that are upcoming in the NFT world, just to give them some encouragement?
Oh, yes, definitely. I'm a huge activist for females in this space because I also haven't seen many. And if I do, then I totally go in and support them. You know what I mean? So I
Mm,
would just say
yeah.
like don't give up. I know that it can be intimidating, but don't give up. The right people will find you and continue being active in the space because you are going to find the people that's going to appreciate you and also everybody else that is not female or who is who's collectors, for example. Like, please do try and support these females because we do need a balance up in here. You know what I mean? So let's bring them up and let's encourage that. That's what I say.
That's awesome. Thanks so much, Daxi.
Thanks, Promo. Awesome questions.
Taika, like I said, that you wanted to come back up again. You found a quiet spot now?
I did. Thanks for allowing the space and potential segue. Cut me off if this is, because I just realized this week's about the art specifically. But for any discussions around DAOs or people getting involved in that way, is there something going on in the K.I.A. at the moment about that? Love to know. If not, is there any way I can help? Has there been any kind of interest in the community besides myself in having a DAO that would invest in other blue chip NFTs and or the ongoing development of community projects within the K.I.A.? I'd be really interested about that as well.
Yeah, I can answer part of that, and Jay, if you want to jump in, please do so. There's been a lot of interest from various different community members. For us, it's something that we want to think about it and kind of approach it a little bit more carefully. Just in terms of how many things you want to do, how quickly you want to grow, but then with the DAO, if it's, let's say, officially created through the K.I.A. project, then things start getting a little bit more complicated on our end. There's more exposure to some liability and a few other things. So like we love the idea of it. We just want to be careful. So we are taking our time looking at a bunch of different things, but I'm more than happy to connect offline and then just have these conversations for sure.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. That gives me a lot of clarity. It sort of, there seems to be, I think I just cut you off.
No, I didn't say anything.
Like what you is well, community DAOs are community DAOs, and that was the whole point from the beginning. And if you guys officially launched it or made an announcement that makes an issue with securities and all that kind of stuff, but if we were to, within our own KIA community just kind of go, hey, we just love this and we're gonna just create a DAO with a few of us. You guys, it's KIA official team didn't do this, but we're here building is kind of what I'm hearing, right? And that's I think that's what's happening in the Bored Ape Yacht Club anyway. There's there's the Bored Ape Mafia. They're all getting tattoos and everything, and I have a few friends there. So I think it sounds like that's the vibe. I appreciate it. Cool.
Yeah, like and funny you say it because I'm part of the Ape Mafia. Like I'm in a bunch of different groups. I hear to those conversations and DAO or no DAO, like our approach, we've had a couple people reaching out. It's like, hey, do you mind if I do this? Hey, like, do you guys want to jump into that? I think what we really want to do is a project is enable our community members to do all these other side projects. We've seen it with kind of like the comic that's happening. There's a few other things, and that's what made apes great, and everyone, the community just blew up, is that all the members started talking to each other and organizing themselves, their own little projects, side projects, and whatnot. Like we've had musicians, videographers, you have storytellers, all these other NFT projects related to apes in some way and whatnot. So from our perspective is that we have our long-term vision. There's some stuff we really want to do. There's some other things that we want to do, but we're a little bit more careful. And there's obviously some things that we might not do just because it doesn't align with with our vision. But that being said, that like we're here to enable what the community members want to do, right? Like even as little as some of the fantasy leagues that we're having. Some, I think it's another football one, a hockey one. Like we will for sure support what the community wants to do, and all the power to you guys. While we get the next speaker up here, another question for the great artist. Can we maybe see some of your like original work that you've done in the past? I've poked around a little bit, but we would love to see maybe kind of like your own work without any sort of boundaries or guidance. Obviously with Koalas, there was a vision there, but yeah, curious if you're willing to share some of that with us.
Yes, I'll definitely share that stuff with you guys. I mean, it's obviously been a learning process, and I have taken a huge gap, you know, since before I was working, and
Are
now.
people able to hear me?
Yes, yes. Can you guys hear me? Is it not clear?
Yes, we can.
We can hear you.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. I just
Okay.
things got a little quiet, and I wasn't sure if I had lost it or logged out or something.
Okay. But yes, I'll definitely share
I'm
some more
curious
of my
if
art.
Taxi's trying to speak.
Am I not speaking?
You are.
I don't think Lakos can hear me.
Yeah, I don't think he can hear you.
Okay.
I think he's lagging, so
Momo, do you think she might be having mic issues again? I feel like she needs an early Christmas present.
Lacos, can you hear me?
Lacos, can you hear me?
Maybe Lacos needs a Christmas present.
Yeah, I think Lacos, bro, it's all good, bro. I'll buy you an early Christmas present.
Earth to
I wonder
Lakos.
if we lost some people. I'm seeing the emojis.
He still doesn't
Lacos, can you
know.
not hear
We're trying
me?
to figure this out.
This is too funny.
Someone message him on Discord.
Yeah, I just did.
Okay. Yeah, keep talking, Dax. Yeah, also I have 2 more questions. Go, go, go.
Okay, hit me.
Okay. Okay. Now, we know like the process, right? And what inspired you and stuff like that. But what are some of the hardships that you ran into when drawing, and specifically for drawing the koalas? Some of the hardships and some of the struggles and like things you had to like overcome with doing this project.
Super excellent question, Momo. You know how on these 10K projects, you have to actually draw each trait separately, and you have to draw them on different layers. So it's actually like the layering of everything and making sure that everything lines up properly. Because, for example, if you have a body trait that is who's that? Okay. Like I was saying before, I rudely got interrupted. So if you have a body trait that's like even a pixel smaller than the actual body, you're going to see that,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you have to make sure everything lines up and that nothing overlaps. So I think that was the challenging part. I had to be super organized. So you also need admin skills on top of like the art skills. And luckily I had both. I hope so. J3 can argue me on this one. But yeah, that was the biggest challenge. It was the first time doing anything like this. So yeah,
Because you have to be like super meticulous in where you
exactly.
have to place things. Yeah. Okay. And my other one is that you know how like you weren't doing like art professionally. You were into photography, like you said.
Yes.
So what kind of drew you to the NFT world? What made you stay in the NFT world? And you were like, yeah, this is for me. I'm gonna do this. This is now my career.
So my friend actually introduced me to NFTs as a whole. And when he first like spoke about it, I was like, let's go. Like, where do I sign up? How do I get into this? And I was actually a starving artist at the time, just trying to make cash off of my art and commissions and stuff. So I was like, yes, like anything, like throw it at me. I'm going to try it out if it has anything to do with art. So I started my own little series called the Unfazed Yuki series. And I put that out there. And yeah, what was your question again? Because that's like how I got into the space, right?
Yeah, like what made you stay in the
And what made me
NFT space?
stay?
Was it like the
Yes, yes,
community or
yes,
like
yes.
the yeah?
Gotcha. And so I am actually currently really new in this whole thing. So I can't answer any long-term like questions. But what made me stay was definitely the community, and I picked it up immediately. Like I started following a bunch of NFT people on Twitter, and the vibe was just like so positive, and everybody was so encouraging, and people were so encouraging to artists, and that's something you don't see out there in the real world, really. I mean, nobody ever
Mm.
really noticed my art until I got into the space. I feel like it's finally being seen and being appreciated, which is really nice. So, so I love the community. Everyone's so friendly, and I mean, I've made some really good friends in the space as well, and I think that we're gonna stay friends, especially like the mods. I feel like we just have a special connection with them. So I love you guys.
Absolutely. Oh. Okay, and then we know that Jay found your art and basically recruited you and was like, yo, your art is dope. Let's make a project together. What were your thoughts initially when Jay approached you? And what about Boss Fan, our director, our lovely director? We love you, Jay. What
Jay is the
about
best.
him made you? Jay is the absolute best person, honestly. But
Hmm.
what
I feel
about him kind
gassed.
of made
Hey, it's the
what about
man.
him made you
Yeah. Go ahead, Momo.
yeah
Sorry.
what about him made you like immediately trust him and be like, yeah, this guy's cool. I'm gonna work for him. Let's do this 10K project.
So I'm gonna be honest with you. I was super weary at the beginning because when my friend was getting me into NFTs, he was like, "Listen, people scam you a lot in this space. You can get scammed easily. Don't click on any links. Don't trust anybody. You know." And
Mm,
when Jay bought my artwork, we immediately started chatting in the DMs, and like almost instantly he pitched this idea to me, and I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't like cautious about the whole idea.
mm.
But I don't know, I just got a certain vibe from him. Like I could just feel like I could trust this guy for some reason. I am very
Like he's
gullible.
a chill guy. Like he's super
Yes,
cool.
exactly. I mean, I am very gullible, but anyway, um I was like, what do I have to lose really?
Mm,
I'm still going to be doing something I love. And even if this turns out to be a scam or whatever this could be, I'd still I'd still be proud of myself for trying, and I'd still learn something out of it at the end of the day. So I just like jumped in and I just went for it, and I truly do not regret that right now. And he's like the
Mm.
best person ever. He's like the coolest, chillest guy. He gave me complete like creative freedom as well, which is something a lot of
Mm.
artists can't say when working with other people. So I mean,
Mm.
it's an absolute pleasure working with him, and
Yeah.
I'm just so happy to be here.
Yeah. And like we're not trying to gas you up, Jay. But genuinely no. I think being on a team with you and building this project with you is genuinely it's so fulfilling because you're just such a cool guy. You give everyone creative freedom. You trust them. You let them make their own decisions. So there's not this feeling of being micromanaged all the time. And I think that your involvement with the team and the community as well is like what makes us just feel like we belong and makes us loyal and want to stay on the team. So a big thank
100%.
you to our wonderful director, Jay. Please.
100%. Totally agree.
Thank you. Thank you guys. I'm honored to have you guys on my team, and I could not have gotten this far without the excellent skill sets and contributions you guys did for the KIA, and for that, I'm forever grateful. And if you need me for anything, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. This is not just for you guys. I mean, this is for everyone, the agents and my team. Please feel free to reach out to me if you want to talk about anything or just want to chill. I'm down. So yeah, thank you guys.
Sounds awesome. Thanks, Jay. Thanks, Taxi.
Thanks, Momo.
Taxi, I've got a question here from Triton in the Discord. He's not able to connect, so I'm going to read out what he wants to say.
Okay, sure.
Hey everyone, my name is Triton and I'm new to the NFT scene as in creating my own NFTs, and I just bought my first NFT as an investment, which was a koala. I'm glad to be a part of this space and thank you for the opportunity for having me. One question I have is, are there any plans on a wave of koala art that includes a few special edition pieces anytime in the near or even distant future? I love the artwork and would love to see some limited edition pieces as in a set of 100 or so. I think I speak for everyone when I say this, but Taxi, you are a very talented artist and you deserve the world and all the good positivity you get along the way. Thank you for making the Walla Gang and all you have done for this community.
Oh my gosh,
Wow.
that is incredible.
Wow.
Wow. I don't even know what to say. Thanks so much. Triton is a Triton. Thanks so much. That means a lot to me. When it comes to your original question, I will let Lakos or J3 take that one because I don't want to say anything that I'm not supposed to.
I guess the only answer to that is you gotta stay tuned because we don't want to reveal too much of what we have in store. We just want to say, anything is possible in the future.
So it looks like we have Denny wanted to ask a question as well.
I'm going to read between the lines.
Yes, my question is for the artist. I was just wondering, how long did it take you to draw actually all the characters and traits, like everything?
Good question. So when J3 approached me, he had the whole roadmap ready, right? And not too long after that, we had the launch dates and everything. And I'd say it took about a month, if I'm not mistaken, about a month to complete
Yeah.
everything. And it was a bit of a rush for me. I stayed up late and I wasn't eating right. I wasn't sleeping right. I just like lived and breathed koalas, but totally worth it, 100%.
And Taxi was also, apart from creating the individual traits, she was tasked with the honor of inspecting every single koala that was to be released, because when you generate these images, there's always going to be a few ones that look off and wrong, as outlined through what happened with Misfits. And even today, like, there's some collections and some things that we're not 100% happy with the render, but 99.99%, she inspected everything and it turned out to be a beautiful result.
Thanks, Jay. That is so true. I had to go through 10,000 koalas. Can you guys believe that? I had to even do some coding work so that J3 could swap some of them out for others, some that I didn't like, for example, just so that I was happy with the entire collection. But I was just dreaming about koalas at that point. So yeah, still not sick of them though.
Awesome. I think we have Maximus wanted to ask a question as well.
Maximus is the man. He's the meme guy.
Yeah, them
For
if
real,
they're,
those
memes are
genuinely so
fire.
dope. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they're still around or not. They didn't unmute. Maximus, are you there? All right. Well, while we're waiting for Maximus to unmute, we also have Alan Dixon, who made that wonderful video for us. Alan, do you want to kind of let us know what you're doing down there?
I'm the guy that made the video. I hope you guys loved it. So funny.
Yes.
So funny. I saw I was whole new. I was basically new to the NFT space, and then it finally clicked. I was like, oh my God, I've been doing so much stuff with wildlife outside of crypto, and then I saw everyone basically using animals to generate all this money, and I was like, oh my God, this is insane. One, for a contribution level on making a difference in the real world, but also feeling like I had slightly missed out. But I was so happy that I reached out to J3 and I was like, yo, bro, have you made contact with anyone in Australia about koalas? I've literally spent the last 2 years with koalas in person, figuring out what's happening to them, how their survival is going. And I just wanted to connect the crypto world to wildlife. And it's within 1 week, we got everything going. I linked the hospital with Jay, and then they sent the ETH. The hospital cashed it out before the dip, and they got all the funds. So they are so stoked for that. And this has led me on to basically figure out how I can connect a lot of my charities that I know in the fundraising development, because they're so old school. They just don't understand this new wave. And I've been in crypto for maybe about 4 years. So NFTs, it's finally clicked, and I can see it's going to make a huge impact for charities if done in the right way. And I think you guys, there's so much energy and strength, and my notifications were just blowing up on Twitter, being like, oh my God, my koala was in the video. And I do have more content to push out of the unclean koalas, the real gangs with real koalas. I'll get around to that eventually. But I'm super happy that you guys started this. You inspired me, and everyone else has been so supportive and so nice. So it's a really good community.
Alan, I got a question for you. You got any tidbits of koala facts since you work with them? Are they fussy? Any interesting facts that we may not know?
I think was one of the drawings that you drew the eyes looking really bloodshot because they get high off eucalyptus. Was that what she drew?
That's correct. You got high on some eucalyptus at the end of that video.
Yeah, I'm literally looking at eucalyptus trees right now. You should see where I live. Oh, man, it's more so the truth of what's happening to koalas now in Australia is that everyone woke up because of the bushfires back in 2019, and they saw the visuals of the koalas being on fire. And then I went to the ground. I was in the bushfires, and I saw all the devastation and literally decaying bodies. And it really hit me. So I've been developing I've interviewed so many people and figuring out what's happening. So I'm gonna release a koala documentary to show the truth of what's happening. But I just finally have seen how the money from crypto can can just help them so much. And I'm really hopeful for the future as well. But facts-wise, maybe I'm rambling now. You already know they sleep for 22 hours a day. It's basically just generic facts that is on Google. If you have any more detailed questions, maybe I can answer them.
I have one. Do koalas ever attack humans in Australia?
Not really. It's only if they're pissed or you're trying to take them off a tree or whatever, and their claws are so sharp. Like usually, there's a place where you can hold them and take photos, but you need to wear this like iron vest to stop it piercing through your skin. Otherwise, you'll bleed. Like.
Oh, so they can be deadly at the right times.
Oh yeah, they're pretty deadly at the right times. So you've picked a cute yet dangerous animal. So funny.
I do have a question for the artist. If you had to add 1 or 2 traits in the collection after we released it, like what would you add?
Oh, that's a difficult question.
That's a difficult question.
It's here's the thing though. You've put culture into the koalas, and that's what they were missing. The koalas by themselves are just cute and cuddly, but when with the traits, you add context and you make them even more relatable to who wants to have one and collect one. So I think you've done a great job in choosing different gangs, if you will, because it psychologically draws people in and makes the community stronger. So at the top of my head, I can't think right now, but you've already done an awesome job.
Wow, thanks, Ellen. That means so much to me. If I could add a trait or two, you say, Jay, what would they be?
I'll have a think about that and tweet some stuff out.
Okay. I was actually thinking of having a mermaid koala, to be honest.
Okay.
Like with the clam shells and the fin.
We're getting aquatic here.
Yes. I think that would be cool.
Fun fact, we had a
lumberjack koala, I think, but anti-jack kind of, because they basically
we had a snorkel trait, but it never showed up in the collection for some reason. I wish we could show some, but yeah.
Hey J3, I've got a question for you. Why did you choose koala in the first place? What drew you to that animal?
Oh man, well, I love koalas, and I was inspired by a TV show that I can't name just because I don't want to. Yeah, but koalas are just cool. Like their color scheme as an animal, like it's like gray and it's really cool. They're really cool, and yeah, they're awesome. And I do have a little. I think my first stuffy was a koala when I was like 6 or 7, and yeah, it's been my spirit animal ever since.
I actually, that's beautiful. I have something that relates to that, and maybe this will inspire everyone here. So the koala is the one animal that doesn't harm humans. It ignores humans. It doesn't eat our food. It doesn't pester a farmer. But yet we as society are the ones that have been chopping down their trees or relocating them or giving them disease. So they're the one animal that nobody can actually hate. But we're the problem in this situation. And if you actually save the koalas in Australia, then you save every single other animal associated with that forest and insect and biodiversity, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, this is why we need to secure that partnership with the AKF ASAP because I believe they preserve the habitat and of the koalas, right?
Yeah, they do. They play a role in that, and there are a lot of other places that aren't as well known as them, but they still make a big difference. So I'll be sure to put out that information of who, like a list of places that are contributing and making a difference.
And I do hope they turn around and see the potential of what we can do for them. And I think you, like representing the agency, adds a lot of credibility too. So I do hope that, that falls through appropriately.
Yeah. No, it's all good. With this community and all the people, it's so good that this isn't a scam. That's like, I see so many crypto things that just end up, either they die off, they fizzle out, or someone disappears or something. And I guess I trusted it enough to put my face to it and make a video. And hopefully that video alone adds even more credibility to this community.
Hey guys, I think I'm back.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Alan.
I have one last question for Alan. Maybe we can make a goal of donating X amount, and could we potentially get like a webcam that just has a live feed of a bunch of koalas somewhere? I think that would be amazing.
Interesting thought.
You don't have to answer it right away, but it's something that in my head I'm like, if we could get a live feed on our site of some sort of sanctuary, just the koalas or something, I would love that. And just give us a goal that we need to reach for donations and let us know if it's possible.
That's cool. That's very cool. I think I know the right people to talk to about that. Awesome.
And Yoda, did you have a question?
Yeah, I do. Hey, Alan. Thanks for everything that you've done down in Oz for us. The question that I've got is, what are the things moving forward that are crucial in sort of helping the koala population in Oz? So where are the critical areas that people need to be aware of, and things that we can do or know of moving forward, rather than retroactively looking at how things have been destroyed?
Yeah, it does come down to education, and there's actually, it's called there's a new koala education thing happening in Australia actually, which I need to talk to them about. It's work is being done. Like it's about replanting habitat, which is happening, and legislation to stop trees being cut down. So you're battling it on a disease front, because you've heard they have this chlamydia epidemic, and the hospital currently have it's working, which is awesome. There's with all this vaccine talk in the world now, it's different that the chlamydia vaccine actually works, and they're treating them. So I would go out koala trekking, and they have an RF radio frequency and trackers on koalas, and they go find them, get their bloods, test them to see if it's working. So that's one of the projects that the hospital are doing, which I've personally gone out with myself. Work is being done. I don't fully know the right answer for this, but I'm going to I'm releasing something within Koala, like a Koala actual physical product within the cosmetic industry soon enough. But we're looking deeper into that. So I guess I can't really answer your question now, but I'll get back to it.
Yeah, that's perfect. Thanks, man.
Cool. All right, I'll give other people some airtime. But guys, this is an awesome community. Thank you so much. But if you have any questions, hit me up. I'll happily answer. Thank you.
Thanks, Alan.
Thank you, Alan.
I've got another question here from Triton in the Discord, who can't connect but is writing nice novels for me to read out. Getting back to the artwork, it's a little off topic, and I'm not sure if it was said before since my Twitter was bugging a bit, but from one artist to another, what's your best advice to get my NFTs out there into the world with good promotion? Obviously, Twitter helps and what not, but are there any specifics? I just listed my first collections, or the start of them anyway, and want people to see them. I have 2 pieces that are a little on the pricey side, but are up for bid. I'm looking to sell them to reinvest that money into the NFT space and even donate some money as well to charities of the buyer's choice. Then I guess what I'm trying to say is, how can someone who doesn't have a large following get their work known and possibly bought?
Thanks for being Titan's voice, Yoda. So I would say be active. Be active in the community. Twitter is huge in terms of NFTs and of course Discord, but especially spaces. I've seen a lot of people join spaces and just basically talk about their background and their story. And then the host would be like, oh, I see you don't have anything in your collection. And it would just like sell out. So you don't actually have to be super popular. You could just be anybody and somebody could love your art style or really relate with your background story, and it could do it for you. So yeah, anybody could do that.
So just as maybe a thought, and I've seen this in a couple of projects, but also at times I get it from an artist perspective. It's hard to get a collector's attention, or it might take too long. But one idea that I thought it might be cool for the community is we could do like a derivative competition, for all the artists in the community to really show their different skills and talents. So if people think that would be interesting, let me know. We can kind of come up with some rules, some timing, and I'm sure I can find a few prices that I can throw in there for people.
I've seen so many of these pop up this week alone. And I was just thinking, like, imagine a koala one. So I'm so down for that idea. I think that's brilliant.
That's my goal for the weekend. I'll put something together over the weekend. We can make an official announcement of a derivative contest, let's say for Tuesday's project announcement. How does that sound?
Nice. And I also love that we would be giving other artists a platform to shine as well.
Anyone else have any other questions? Also, at any point, if I'm cutting people off, it's because my phone's going all wanky again, and just someone message me and tell me to shut up.
I wish I could see who's asking wants to come up here.
Flower Boy, can you see that? Can you give
No
people...
one's requesting to come up yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can see that. There's just nobody requesting.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to ask a question, feel free to request. We'll bring you up as a speaker right now. Looks like Yoda's got his hand raised now.
Right. I'd love to hear from Ghost DeFi. So I'll just bring him up here and we'll give him a few seconds so he can chat. Hello, friend. How's it going?
I've got a couple of questions that are sitting in the Discord. So Soaked in NFTs wants to know where the team believe we will be in 3 months' time. And then his next question is, will you sponsor the Koala Fantasy Football League?
I think that's a question for J3 or Lakos.
So sponsoring the Fantasy Football League, is that like the one aside from the one we're currently running with all the other 12 communities? Is it like, do you guys want to have your own Fantasy Football League? We're happy to support that. We're happy to even provide some prices. I know when we post Fantasy Football League, we have people from all over the place. The first time I posted that, people were saying, is this American football? Is this real football, as in soccer? Or is this Aussie rules football? So I think, if people can organize something, like I said, we're always up for enabling community-driven initiatives. So let us know how we can help. And then in terms of 3 months from now, that's about 6 years at crypto speed. I have certain goals that I kind of want to reach, but
Hey, how are you guys? I just wanted to stop by and just say much love to
Hi,
all the Koala
Josephi.
agents. Yeah, what up, Momo? So I just
What
wanted to
up,
come
bro?
through. I just wanted to come through and just say this community has really been right from the beginning nothing but wide open arms. You can obviously tell by my name, Ghost DeFi. I made a lot of my money in the normal crypto world. I was buying cake at 40 cents. I was buying BNB at $40. I was doing a lot of the DeFi stuff, right? So for me, the NFT space, it took me a long time to kind of wrap my head around it because me coming from a traditional world, in real life, I own a marijuana farm in San Francisco. So for me, coming from the traditional world of business, it was like, with normal tokens, I've created RFI tokens, I've created meme tokens, all these type of things. None of these things are sustainable. So for me to wrap my head around NFTs and to see, the growth of it, not just through games, but now that you can, now I see, the full power of NFTs, the fact that you can, you can turn, now I'm thinking about, I was just messaging because turning, legit companies in real life into NFT collections because everything can be kind of used for an advantage with the real community behind it. So I just want to say to everyone that's here, J3, thanks, Imomo. Thanks for having open arms. Thanks for being, just yourself. Thanks for being a great community because for me personally, I bought, some Bored Apes and stuff, but I didn't really have that kind of FOMO that I had until I, came, spoke to Momo in the chat, spoke to Lacoste. That was for me the first time I really felt, the real NFT community. No one was judging, no one was negative, great vibes. So I just wanted to come in and just say, keep doing you, you know, um, no matter what's been happening, with the floor price, all the rest of that, we all know this is just part of any market. I just see this going a whole lot further. Alan Dix, you've been doing your thing. I'm over here in Sydney too. I seen you over there in the Koala Foundation doing your thing over there. So just to see this real community, it really opened my eyes to, it's more than just JPEGs. It's more than just NFTs. It's more than just art. This is something that feels even bigger than us. Sorry if I'm ranting on, but yeah, just mad love to the whole Koala team, and thanks for having open arms and trusting. Especially in a space like this where you can't really trust anyone, right? Everyone's kind of
Yeah, trust me, crypto has a lot of shitty actors, and we really appreciate your support and all that love you just showed us, especially in the first few weeks. That definitely made an impact, and we appreciate you, and we love, and we're honored to have someone like you in our community for sure.
Thanks so much, JG.
Because DeFi, I'm so glad you joined the Twitter Spaces, bro. It's so nice to hear from you.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I was here, but I
you're
was
one of
just
the
listening.
people. Yeah, but you're like one of the people who I genuinely like had a connection with when we first spoke, and you're
Yeah,
just so cool and so chilled, and you genuinely love the project, and you genuinely want to help. And
it's crazy
it's
how
so cool.
only in this type of space could you not know someone in real life, but feel like you know them. Like it's so crazy. Like you said, we just
Real.
came in, and it was just natural vibes. Just it was just so organic, so real, so like you can't even explain it. Just everyone that came in. It was just a real community from the beginning. That's why right from when I seen it, I just knew it was different. Like I said when I spoke to you, there's been a ton of projects. To be honest, I just bought them just because I bought them. This was the first one that like I loved, like because it was the community. It was the actual, the whole thing about them being, K.I.A. agents, your 4 lean agents. We got to take care of this.
Yeah.
And in everyone's defense, it was really a teamwork, to see everyone come through, no matter what anybody dropped, go tweet on this, go comment on this, the Koala agency really came through. Everyone was supportive. Everyone did their part. So, this is the real definition of community. And when you think of NFTs, like this is the type of community you think of. And, like Gary said himself, 98% of these projects are going to fail because they don't have a plan. They don't really care, and they don't have a real community. So just all of you guys just keep that in mind, don't be hopping around from one thing to another because you see a little bit of a drop. Just understand that's any market. But these are the type of projects that are going to go long. And me coming from Sydney, you would know yourself. I don't know if he's still here, our guy from the Koala agency. But yeah, koalas are really going extinct. So it's not like this is some gimmicky thing or, J3 and that's just doing it just to kind of get some clout or something like that. This is legit. They're legitimately giving money. They've already given that 12 acres you guys seen. And these koalas are literally being saved. So this is like, so for anyone thinking this is just some type of gimmick or maybe, because a lot of people do say they do charity, but they're not really doing charity. J3 and then what they're doing at the koala agency is really making a difference to koalas. And koalas are going extinct for those that don't know.
Yeah, especially the wildfires that's been happening. I heard that they don't have a home anymore, and
Nope.
I think we were in the right time for them, for just the koalas' perspective. Like we came at the right time because they are in that endangered status. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ellen, but yeah, the agency really stepped up, and we're actually making a difference in the world. And I'm glad you can see that, Ghost. And yeah, this is no rug pull. This is no scam. Like we are legit, and we're here to stay.
Also, Ghost DeFi, I want to give you props. I don't think we could have scripted a better advertisement for how good this community is and how tight everything is. So appreciate that.
I mean, it pays when you're just being honest, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
If I had to make it up, then it probably wouldn't have sounded as good, right?
Right. But we love you though, and we love what you do, and we just appreciate your support so much. For real.
We really appreciate
You're a
that.
real one.
And you were talking about like us being organic and stuff, but that speech was organic and it was the best. I don't think you could have stepped at that any better.
Because even
I hope
like I was
you're
saying,
recording the spaces.
like even like I was saying with Lacoste, like with me, it was like I was always trying to wrap my head around, okay, what if I could, take my legit companies and make a collection, and then they would have this access to my shops in real life and all these other things. But like I said, this really showed me the power of NFTs. It isn't in the artwork alone all the use cases is actually in the community. It's in me and you. It's in us. It's in,
So
and
true.
that's kind of the thing that gives me kind of chills, because it really feels bigger than us, like there's certain things you do in life that you kind of you're part of, like thanks you when you first took that leap to trust J3, and you just kind of know, yeah, it could go wrong, but it also could go very right, so it's like, yeah, sorry if I'm just ranting, but yeah.
You're totally not just ranting and rambling on. I love everything that you said, and it's like you say, it's about the impact. It's about the impact on the
Mhm,
community. It's about the impact that we're
mhm,
having on real life koalas. That
mhm.
is what we stand for. You know what I mean? So if
Yep.
we can have any positive ripple in the effect of the world, then I mean, that's a good thing.
I just got one question for you too. Thanks, you, while I got you on.
Sure, sure.
How long would that have taken you to draw, to complete, start to finish that collection of the koala agencies? I always wondered that, because you have to individually draw the traits and all that.
Yes, I did. And J3 actually had me working to the bone. But it took me about a month. It took me about a month to get everything done. And I think at the end, I could really feel the pressure, and it was like crunch time just before
Mm-hmm.
launch. And we even squeezed in a few extra traits, which I am actually really glad we did, because it really added to the collection. So yeah, about a month, and my whole life
Amazing.
changed, which is insane.
I love that, and that's kind of why I love crypto. Like, um, it's the financial freedom. It's the fact that somebody could wake up yesterday and be in a whole different position, and then wake up today and be in a whole different position. That's kind of what I've loved about crypto in general. But NFTs, it's kind of got that times 10 almost. It's like you said, your life can literally just change overnight, and buying the particular right artwork, or meeting the right person. And like Thanksy was saying, there is no key to success. It's just being active. You just have to be active. Me coming from a big DeFi background, I already had a lot of people that knew me from crypto, but I didn't have a big NFT background. So for me, I had to start, just getting into spaces, speaking to people, talking to people, understanding how they think, because for me, coming from a normal business world as well, I want to know the consumer that I'm trying to sell to. I want to know how they think, so this was real interesting to see, how you guys really really knew how the NFT mindset thinks, how you ran your competitions, how it was real. It's about as organic as it'll get.
Yeah, and I just wanna touch on that because Taxi, I know you say like your work to the bone, and it was a very stressful and a pleasuring time. But I remember we had no idea. We had some idea, I guess, but we had no idea to an extent of how big the launch would have
Hmm.
been for K.I.A.
Hmm.
And I remember just after launch, and then people got the koalas and everyone was stoked, everyone was so happy.
Hmm.
And like I think it was a couple of days after, like Dax and I we were talking about it, and people were talking about how K.I.A. changed their
Yeah.
lives personally. Like some went back to college, some bought a house, some was,
Hmm.
hodling, and how they, made friends within the community, and how it genuinely changed people's lives. And it was absolutely 100% so worth it.
Hmm.
And yeah, we're just so grateful and thankful to everybody, to be very honest.
It's amazing.
I'm not gonna
It's
lie,
amazing.
I don't
Love.
think anyone could have predicted the impact that these koalas actually had. And like you say, everything leading up to the launch, no one could have predicted what was to follow. And I think the week after launch, every single day something crazy would happen. Like Gary V would buy a koala, and then
Yeah.
so it was
Timmy
it
Trumpet
was the
and
most
Steve
insane week of my
Aoki.
life.
So actually, do you remember like a couple of days before launch, you were like, "Mama, are we gonna sell out? Like, do you think it'll be good?" And I was like, "Don't even worry about it. Like, we'll be fine. We'll do fine." And then launch happens, and we sell out. You know, within under 2 hours, I think, and it was like
Amazing.
just the effort of everybody, and it was so insane. It was absolutely crazy.
And like you said, it's also props to the awesome artwork. I mean, just to listen
Oh,
to, how J3 had to go through 10,000, like, oh my God, this is after drawing them all, finishing them all, and then to go through all 10,000. So she was happy with the entire collection. Like, those type of finer details, those things are always going to win in the long run, because real collectors and real people that are going to respect that, they're going to look at that and say, wow, look at this, look at the way the ears are, look at the earrings, it's just so perfect, right? So congratulations.
thanks so much, Ghost. And we were actually cutting it super close at the end. There's a few that I wanted to swap out. It's actually a super long list of koalas I wanted to swap out for better ones. And J3 was like, listen, I got to get this thing going. I got to get this generator going. I got to get things done, for the launch. And I was like, J3, trust me, this is going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it.
Yeah.
Just hold on. And he's like, okay, I'll wait for you. And then every second after that was like agonizing, because I knew he's like waiting on me. But at the end of the day, I'm glad that we could give out such a quality project. So yeah, totally worth it. But thanks for your kind words, guys.
And I think
Yeah.
we can definitely see, like, within your artwork, like the amount of detail that you have and the effort that you put in. Like, we can definitely
Facts.
tell, and we can appreciate that because the art came out so well.
Agreed. Agreed. And the variety as well on the characters are awesome. It's not just color changes, it's the tattoos, it's the actual variety, the robots. Yeah, nah, I agree.
Ghost, what would be your favorite trait if you had to pick one?
I think I think I said before in the chat, that's like picking a favorite kid. We all have but we don't say it out loud, right?
I
But
feel you. I feel you.
I would probably say like, for me, my favorite koala right now is the Punisher koala. And after it would probably be the hazmat suits. I really
yeah.
like the hazmat suits. Yeah, I fuck with the hazmat suits.
Some COVID stuff right there. If they have a mask too, that's like ready
Yeah,
for the
and
zombie.
any of the ones that are smoking weed, because I own marijuana farm, so that's me. So anytime I see a koala smoking weed, I'm like, oh, that's me. I need him.
They have to do a partnership. Like, if they hold a koala, they would get a discount for your, like. I mean, we will obviously support that.
Yeah, no, that's why I was speaking to Lacoste, so maybe you guys can DM and you can kind of see what's going on in the background, and
for
then
sure.
we can chop it up. But yeah, nah, I'm more than happy to support y'all in anything I do. So it's the only right. So yeah, 100%. And we've got a farm in San Francisco, we've got one in Sacramento, and we're looking to open one in Boston. So I don't know if any of you guys smoke bud, but Runts is owned by a family, which is actually one of the biggest strains. So we work pretty closely with our partners are like Berner, the owner of Cookies, the cookie store.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are the contacts that we have. So even when Lacoste spoke about if a clothing line is trying to get onto an NFT, all of our brands are all already up and running. They're clothing lines. So I sent him all of that. So anything that you guys want, I'll give you 100%.
Yeah, I think Lacoste probably has something already lined up there that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have
We'll,
to
we'll we'll work something out. But yeah, it's like I said, when I first came in, spoke to Momo. I mean, it's crazy because normally when you first come in, you just, you have that kind of, it's that mentality, like, only talk about us. The one thing that I loved about the K.I.As was when you came in there, it was about the NFT community as a whole. We were in there laughing about the ether scissors, and we were laughing about the rock that went for $2.2 million. So this was just general NFT talk in general, So, I mean, like I said, this felt like this was more than just a K.I.A thing. This just was a support of the NFT community as a whole,
What I love about the community, though, and the NFT spaces is the diversity and the different types of people that you meet. So instead of like when people come to me or approach me, instead of just being like, yeah, like okay, whatever. I'm like, I want to get to know you as a person. What kind of jokes do you like? What's your humor? Let's talk on
Very
like
true.
a friendship level and get to know you personally because I feel like that creates better bonds and it keeps people intrigued. It keeps people feeling like they are special and wanted, and that's how we kind of want the community to feel all the time. But you were a special case though, bro. That conversation was dope. When am I getting invited to the farm though, bro? Do I get like a friendship discount?
Of course, of course, of course.
Let's go.
Yeah, nah, but yeah, there's a lot going on. I'm so excited for the future, what the KIA's got coming. I mean, this really just feels like the start. This really just feels like the start. They haven't even started to open their arms just yet. So if this is the start, I'm intrigued to see, how the end of the year ends, and yeah, I'm just excited.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing like how you feel about the community Ghost DeFi. That was awesome to listen to. We have somebody coming up, 3-panel crimes. You want to ask a question?
Oh no, I was just coming to kick it and say hello. How you guys doing? Jay, it's good to see you.
What's
Hey,
up,
what's
man?
up, 3-panel? Fun fact: he's I don't know if I'm legally obliged to disclose this, but 3-panel is actually the artist responsible for the crate. So yeah, he whipped up the 3D design for it, and it was really cool. And we're gonna work more with him in the future, definitely.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I had a blast. It was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Sick. I also had a question for Noobbot because he kind of reached out to me when he joined the community, but I wanted to see if you wanted to share kind of your story about getting into NFTs and what maybe drew you to the Koalas project.
Are you asking
Well,
me? Or
nice.
Dubon?
Yeah. Actually, I touched a little bit on it last time. But I remember I was into the shoe game pretty big, and then I have this guy I follow on Twitter, and he's just a simple tweet, just like, hey, don't sleep on the koalas. Went over to the Discord and started chatting with people and started helping people back and forth, and then like next thing you know, I'm talking with actually it was Momo actually the first person I talked to, and she asked if I
Mama
applied to
be
be a
keeping
mod.
everybody up in here.
She asked if I applied to be a mod, and I wasn't sure. I was like, man, I don't know if I could do this because I didn't know too much at that time. I come from sneakers and doing that. I knew barely anything about NFTs or trans